Hello and welcome to Floyd Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Aoshima's 1/24 scale iconic 1992 Range Rover. Absolutely fantastic. Nice to see a more modernish. This is the 1992 version. I think it was produced up until around about 96. They were almost going for sort of 30 years. So very much an iconic. Let's face it, what have we got? Esky. Very old kit, which is now reboxed, I do believe, by Italeri. Okay, but actually to have an up-to-date one, and let's face it, Aoshima do some absolutely beautiful kits. Anyway, as you can see down on the box art, very, very nice. Simple, stunning as the actual Range Rover is. Can you tell I'm a fan? Anyway, in the green as well, what's not to love? Okay, so a little bit obviously information about it, the actual pictures of the actual model itself. Okay, so your kit number for this one is 120, which is quite handy. And then obviously we've got the usual thing for the paint call outs and the various things on here like that. So that's your box. Inside the box we are greeted by, if I get it to stand up, we've got the main body, fair enough. We've got one bag with the parts like that. We've got another part down in here, as you can see, fully detailed. We've got the clear parts, so we've got that shell system we've seen recently on another one of their kits, and we've got the actual floor pan. Those tyres feel really, really heavy as well. And we've got some decals down in there. As always, we'll start off having a look through the old instructions. Okay, so it's the pull-out sheet type ones that go on forever. So obviously it talks about the body and obviously putting decals on and stuff like that just to start with, but we're not really worried about that. Then we're just going to move over and start to work actually on the actual running gear underneath down in here. So down in here we've obviously got all the drive mechanism, everything else. We've got the gearbox, all of those areas all being fitted through. Again, it's not fully detailed, but it's pretty much there. We've got the pan guard underneath there, suspension system for the air suspension. Okay, and then obviously all the parts, we've got the exhaust being fitted down in here and all the drivetrain and everything, as you might imagine, going down underneath. Then on wheel hubs, various things, got a polycap system for holding those on. So we've got the actual diff on the back being fitted down in there. And then we are into the inside. Now I do believe this is just a right-hand drive only. Okay, which is fair enough for me. But there we go. So you've got all the systems being fitted down in there. We've also got some decals being fitted down onto the dashboard as well. Got the seats, the rear seat parts as well. We've actually got the boot liners, things like that. Spare wheel cover going in the back. All the other parts down in here, and then on the sides as well. So we actually got the sort of door cards down in there. Over onto the other side, we've got the glasswork being fitted in the top. Again, it's one large piece that fits up down in there. We've got the grille areas, things like that being fitted in there. All onto the front end, sunroof going on, windscreen wipers, lights, all the usual things you might expect. And then obviously we've got the fog lights being fitted down in there, number plate system, wing mirrors, things like those. And then the same round the back really, all of those being fitted on. Then we've got the underside being fitted up. Then we got all the body being fitted down to the actual drivetrain and onto the chassis being fitted onto there. Body shell being fitted onto that afterwards as well, so that sort of completes that one. Hubs being fitted down into there, wheels and mud flaps and that thing being fitted on there. And away you go. So as you can see, it's not like the old Esky one where it's like, you know, 1, 2, miss a few and it's all together. There's a little bit more work into that one, and again, a great jumping point because you can start off and then obviously add extra detail as you want it to go through with it. Okay, so down in here we do get, where's my nopey, stab myself. Okay, so we have got, that's just a piece here. We've got a lovely piece of very shiny material, which I assume is for using as and where you like all over this one. So you can use it for mirrors and stuff like that. It's quite handy to give you a giant sheet of it. I don't want to blind the camera. Okay, down in here we have the decals. So on the decals, you can see we've got instrument panels, got a little bit of wood and all the bits, as you might imagine, down in there like that. So very nice indeed. Okay, let's have a look at the clear part just because we've got it right here. Okay, so as I say, Aoshima tend to do this where it's like a one piece comes up from the bottom, but as you can probably see, it is crystal clear, even though it's got movement on these areas. A little bit of wobble, a bit of distortion, but generally, as you can see, you've got the actual heated rear window effect has been put in there as well, so that's a very nice touch. All the glass parts, sunroof, as you can see. Okay, headlights, tail lights, things like that, all being fitted down in there. So actually not too bad at all. That's pretty clear from what you would expect. Okay, the important bit, the body. Okay, so in the body, as you can see, there we go. We have our classic Range Rover. Actually, that gorgeous styling and shape. Looking very, very nice indeed. Okay, see those all the way round. No problem at all. Again, good, solid colour. We were talking about this on one of the live shows recently with me and Matt. We're saying how it's the plastic, there's no see-through it, so you can just paint straight onto it with no problem whatsoever. So it looks very, very nice indeed. No problem with that at all. Okay, right, into the gubbins. Let's start in this one here, multi one in here. We've got the wheel hubs, which again, very nice. They've got that nice metal look to them. Obviously you could paint them to whatever colour you wanted to, so you could just leave the outers and just do the centres, things like that down in there. But you can see good detail on those, no problem at all. Or you could just strip them off and start again. Alright, so that's those. Then we've actually got the main areas in here. So you've got the top and lower parts of the dash down in there, centre console. And then obviously we've got the bumpers front and rear. They're in there just like that. Again, tiny little bit of flash here and there, but we are getting very, very picky on this now. Nothing you'd really write home about, but the details themselves, pretty nice down in there for the centre console. Okay, some more of the parts down here. So we've got some of the transmission. As you can see, good, sharp details on those. No problem. Got the exhaust. It's got a little bit of a hole in there. Probably want to drill that out. Spare wheel cover. And then splitter down the back. And again, very nicely done indeed. For the interior, we've got the seats, front and rears. Again, nice little bit of texture detail on the rear pockets. And then door cards for all of those. And then we've got the rear seat, steering wheel, column, things like that. Rear view mirror. And again, nothing really to shout home about on those. Okay, so that's all very nicely done. Then we've got the body floor. Okay, so that's really all about under here. You can see there's not a lot going on here, but you've got a lot of details going to cover that up. So it's all basically there. And then on these, you've got the boot. And then we've actually got the back rear seat with the cup holders and the various areas. Now again, looks a little bit, yeah, it's not as sharp as perhaps you might want, but it's actually not too bad at all. That's quite nice. Okay, then we've got sort of engine, transmission type areas, things like that, and all the diffs and stuff. So as you can see, there's the actual chassis. Again, got your fuel tank in there, and the actual gearbox coming out the back. Doesn't look too bad. And then on the other side, you can see here we've actually got the drivetrain. Very nice indeed. Nothing really to shout home about on the other side. And then on here we've got all the springs and dampeners and all your bits, mud flaps. Okay, front grille, rear diffs, and then obviously some of the bars for the steering, for the rack. And again, nothing to write home about under there. Last up, we've got the bag with the poly caps and the tyres, and we've got a little bit of mirror. So down in here we've got a couple of number plates. These are for the backs of the number plates. You can see down in here we've got a bar running through for the rears, and then we've got the tyres. So again, we do have should see if we actually got, yeah, I think it's it is Bridgestone. I'm just trying to see. You can probably see it better on the camera actually. I think it's almost there. Okay, with the tyres, so they are numbered and got all your bits on there. So actually that's quite nice indeed. There's no size information on them, but there we go. But again, good tread. There is a little bit of a centre seam running right round here, so you might want to attack that with a sanding stick just to take that off. And obviously we've got some poly caps. And that is it. I have to say, it's such an iconic vehicle, and if you're a Jaguar Land Rover fan or anything else like that, it's going to be an absolute must for your bucket list. But it's nice to now have a modern, up-to-date kit of it instead of something that's, you know, as old as the actual vehicle is itself. So from that point of view, I think it's an absolute must.